All right, so me and Missy argue all the time, and instead of doing it off camera, today we're going to, watch out, let me put this. Today we're going to do it on camera. Ain't that right?
Let's do it.
So you know, we'll stand right there. Well, you know.
You said 15s?
Yeah, stand right. You're good right there. No, take it off, we'll put the 25s. So as you know, I'm a fitness person, and if you don't know, Missy is a stylist, to say the least, right? And if you know me, you know I don't give a damn about fashion, you know? But it's Missy's thing, obviously, and we always have the debate. I don't want to say argument, but we always have the debate about, I always say fitness over fashion, but I always think it is more important to have the body that you want rather than the clothes you actually put on it. So go ahead, tell them your perspective of how you feel about fashion.
As a stylist, it's a form of expression.
Okay.
Being somebody who dresses other people, it's my way as a creative form of expression. Whether it's athletes, influencers, or a regular person, it does a couple of things. Build confidence, you know, it could be something from status on what you're wearing to just being fly, or, you know, just putting that shit on.
Right, so you know me, I have a whole different perspective about where, listen, it's not bad, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I think people put too much confidence in status, or too much emphasis on status, too much emphasis on confidence when it comes to what you wear. Because to me, at that point, you're just buying confidence. Now, you can't be, I don't think you can buy being fly. That's some shit if you like. If you know how to put some shit together, you know how to put the shit together. Because you and another person can have the same outfit.
Because I was going to say, I'm like...
I think that's different. Because you know how to dress.
If you know how to dress, you know how to dress,
exactly.
Right? But I don't think it's a buying confidence thing. I think it's a cop-out, per se.
Okay.
Because just because you buy something to wear that's expensive doesn't mean you know how to wear it right.
I believe that.
So that doesn't mean confidence. That just means you got the money for it.
But do people not buy it and wear it as if they're confident because they had the price point to actually buy it?
And you know my biggest pet peeve, I'm not going to lie, is these big boys who buy stuff that's too small for them, and they got the whole stomach and belly button just tight. Like, that's my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
You know, kudos to you for the confidence for it, but as a stylist, I would never let somebody walk out and say, I did that.
Yeah, because you always talk about, like me, you know how, like Missy dresses me, and you know I hate, like, or we have two different preferences.
If Hector is not in sweats, that was a Missy production.
Yeah, literally, like, I don't never wear my own shit, like, she buy all my shit, because I just don't, I understand the importance of it when you are at some of these events. Like, I get it, right? But it's the point where I don't want to have to think about it.
Which is why I come in part as a stylist. Again, I work with everybody, all budgets, all types of people.
Yeah, for sure, because I'm not spending all that goddamn money. You know that.
And we've made some we've made some things work with the budget that you have, which is not a problem. That's not my issue. It's more so of being open. And that, to trying something different.
Yeah, that should be weird.
Yeah.
I'm wearing ones now.
Yeah.
Look, I never.
It's
if it wasn't for Missy,
to it because as it goes back to fitness, right? As a stylist, you shop for your body, not for the eye, right? And you train for the body, right? Mm-hmm. So it's equivalent where we're trying to look good. Yeah. You're doing the inner, and I'm doing the outer.
Right. And I'm not saying they don't. Right. And they go well together. It's just sometimes. I think, again, sometimes some people, not all people, cop out where it's like, well, I don't really gotta have to go to the gym because I got this shit on. I can wear 30, 40,000. Hey, look, that's beautiful. But you take that shit off in the summertime, you don't want to wear all them hot ass clothes.
I 100% agree. That's where I come in part. You know, in two things, like for myself personally, I was okay in the summer. I was content. I was in the gym, but not consistent enough. Yeah. To, you know, go somewhere and then see what other people look like, and be like, damn, I don't look like that. I want to look like that. Right. For me to push myself more and more consistent to get where my goals are. Right. And it goes, you know, hand in hand where you know, like Deion Sanders, you look good, you feel good, you feel good, you play good, you play good, you pay good, right?
Exactly.
So with that concept, it helps build the confidence even more when, for men or women, when you put something on and you're like, damn, like, this is what I look like in this, or damn, I don't like what I look like in this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's when people actually make their fitness decision to start their journey, when they don't like, even if it's something they might address, they might buy or shit like that, they just don't, they like the dress and they just don't like how they look in
Correct.
it. And so that's the thing of like, okay, what do you do? Just buy a bigger size, or do you actually start going to the gym and doing what you need to do?
So for me, I've been on a fitness journey. This is year 4 on a fitness journey. This is 3. No, yeah. So 2024, year 5. This is the start of year 5. So 2023, I didn't have a trainer, but 2021 to 2021 to 22, I had a trainer and I bulked up.
Yeah.
And not that I didn't like what I looked like, I'm just being a petite person. I didn't like how stocky I became.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna train with anyone, and I'm just gonna hit the gym myself.
Right.
I did it. Obviously, having a person in your ear telling you is a better motivation than you doing it yourself.
Right. Accountability.
Until you know, the summer hit, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. Like, I wasn't bad. I just wasn't as confident as I could be. And in that situation where you said, what do you do? I went from a small to a medium.
Yeah.
You know, like all throughout college and after college, I was a 0, 1, no bigger than a 3. Obviously, different clothes fit different and have sizing differences.
Right.
So then, you know, as I got more mature, I'm 35. So as I got more mature, you know, my body filled out.
Yeah.
Smalls pretty much my whole life. And then the past, you know, year or so, I was a medium.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a fat medium, it was a fit medium. It was all muscle. And, you know, being a stylist, I have 5 closets. And the upsetting part is, oh my God, I have so much clothes to give away because I can't fit any.
There you go.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, and clothes are expensive.
Yeah,
whether it's, you know, just a little.
Yeah, because I'm not paying all that shit.
Right. It's whether it's like little fast fashion from whatever.
Yeah.
Zara, Fashion Nova, all these little small boutiques and like things like that add up, or it's designer stuff.
Right.
That's shitty. Like, my whole closet I couldn't fit, so I had to find things to like substitute, or just kind of, you know, when people get big, they wear sweatpants, or when they wear sweatpants, they don't notice they got big. Yeah. Right. So it was in that moment. I went out the country, saw what other people look like. I was like, oh no. I want to look like that. Like, so that's how it got me more consistent and in the gym and just adding different routines. Because I wasn't insecure. I was, but I wasn't. I just wasn't as confident. Right. I would say that. And so here I am. I'm still the same weight I've been the past year. The weight shifted in different parts.
Right, so it looks different. Right.
And so to put on smalls again, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm proud of myself.
Oh my God.
I'm proud of myself.
Good job. Tuck, yep. Give me 10. Good. Butt back, chest up the whole time. All right, so tell the people how you got started. How did you get into fashion? How long have you been into fashion?
I've been in fashion for 18 years.
How many?
18. Started working at a store in college.
What drew you to fashion?
So nobody knows this.
Well, now they do, but go ahead.
So I'm the oldest grandchild. When I was younger, I had a playroom of Barbies, and for some reason, I don't know why, it just like, I don't know if it's like American Dream type of thing, but my aunts always would buy me Barbies, and I'd have like, you know, imagine being 5 as a little girl, 5, having like those tough like the big Rubbermaid bins of just Barbie clothes. So when I was a kid, like, those were my gifts. It was always like Barbies and their clothes and their shoes and like the dream house and the car, like it was always Barbie. Okay. So I always like dressing them, you know, just playing with the dolls, dressing them down. that's kind of where like I always enjoyed it.
Okay.
My parents are immigrants. I never really could afford it.
Okay.
Because my family were immigrants, anytime grandparents would go back overseas, they would bring me clothes from back home.
Okay.
Whether it's a bootleg t-shirt of like whatever cartoon or like the pretty dresses, I was always dressed like I was always dressed up. And so I think it was a little bit of that, and then in high school I really got into sneakers.
Okay.
I was a big sneakerhead, and so I've been working since I was 13. So again, being the oldest, coming from an immigrant family, we didn't really have much. So I worked just to get some money to buy stuff, to buy clothes and buy shoes and all that. So then when college came, I'm like, I don't want to work in a restaurant because that's what my parents have a restaurant, and that's what they do. And I'm like, I'm too cute to go home smelling like grease and food every day.
Right.
So I in college, I was like, fuck it, let me work at one of these stores. I did that same company for 5 years. And as I graduated, trying to find a job after, my degree's in PR.
Okay.
It's a marketing communications degree with a concentration in public relations.
Okay.
It was difficult and it was unfair to find jobs because I didn't have a marketing background in terms of work.
Okay.
And back then they were very like, oh, well, you don't have any marketing experience. So when I came to like somebody making me an audit for it, they're like, oh, we're gonna start you, mind you, this is like 2011.
Okay.
We're gonna start you at $32,000 salary with a commission and bonus structure.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm 23 years old, just graduated with a degree, marketing degree, trying to find a job after graduation. And I'm like, man, I've been working at this company for 5 years now. I make $22 an hour, and that's a lot of money back in 2011.
Okay.
To be like a manager in a retail space,
yeah,
you're guaranteed 40 hours. You have insurance, right? And I think that was more of a priority of insurance and assurance, job security, insurance, and knowing like, I'm kind of complacent.
Right.
Right. So then, moving fast forwarding. At the same time, I was working in nightlife, and then ended up at another boutique retailer and started working like another retail job, but their component was styling. Throughout the years, always like my friends like, oh, can you help me? Like, what do you think would go? How can you put an outfit together? Like, they would do that. And I'm like, all right, cool. That didn't work out, so now I'm at where I'm at now in luxury, doing the same thing for men.
Okay.
So I've been doing this styling for 12 years now.
Okay.
I've been styling specifically athletes for 8 years now.
Okay.
And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
There you go. So how do you like styling athletes, and how did you get into that market? And are they your favorite people to dress, or who is your favorite person to dress? So I know that's 3 in 1, but yeah.
I realized there was a niche in it because I know that specifically football players, right? They condition the most.
Okay.
So they have the least free time.
Okay.
And so us being in Chicago, the Bears facilities, and most of them, they live Lake Forest or around that area, so an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
The stadium's here in the city. The past 8 years, I've lived really close to the stadium.
Okay.
So one of my first big clients walked, this is the first week I started, when my first big clients walked in, I didn't know who he was, helped him, racked up a nice hefty bill. That was like the first one. I was like, okay. I knew there was a niche there, I just didn't know how to approach it.
Okay.
So from that, it became like a word of mouth.
Okay.
And so then it would be like, hey, Friday, Saturday hit, I'd send them outfit options, run it, and then go drop it off to them at the hotel.
Okay.
So that's the consistent thing I've been doing for the past 8 years.
Okay.
Obviously, even with you, referral based, is always awesome because it leads to, you never know who it leads to.
Right.
And my aspect of that is like, it's not, to me, I don't enjoy selling. Like, yeah, the check looks good when it comes to selling, but I enjoy the creativity behind it, and I enjoy the results of like the clients trusting me and actually going with something I picked out.
Okay.
So like, I don't look at it as like clients who use a stylist or just anybody using a stylist. I don't look at it as like, oh, that's cheating, that doesn't count. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because guess what? That's what I get paid to do. And in my aspect, like, what my key component is, I offer convenience because this is their career, right? They play sports, they condition, they have a family. Why waste your time doing all that shopping on your own and like running around and all that when somebody can do it for you?
Right.
And so with that, it's like, hey, if you can't afford one, you can't afford one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you ain't big dog where you need one, that's cool. Don't knock it. Right? Same thing with trainers. You can't afford one, can't afford one, but you can do your research in doing it.
Right.
Or if you can't afford it, why do all that if I could pay somebody to do it for me, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, like to be honest, some of these big drippers, they all have stylists. All these like big check clients or the big check athletes, they have a stylist.
Right.
And so for the ones that say, oh, I don't have it, I do it on my own, I'm sure somebody gave you an idea or something, or you got it, somebody was in your ear about it.
Right.
But yeah, and there's nothing wrong with having a stylist.
Right.
Because, I've worked with younger rookies and I've worked with veterans. And I have one of each as a main client right now.
So does your style change person to person, or like do stylists have a style, or is it just based on who you're working with?
Absolutely, just like trainers change people body to body, right?
Okay.
Different goals.
Right.
So, yeah, like I have a younger client.
But are you, even though like again you dress for the body?
Nobody dresses the same because everybody's got different body types.
Right.
Right.
And so my question more is, do you dress for like the event they're going to, like, just a casual streetwear, or before the game, or if they're going for an event, like how do you still, or you just shop for different stuff, or like
different occasions? One of them, he likes to do suiting during away games.
Okay.
Because that's business. It's a job, right? It's a career. It's business to him. So when he does away games, he suits and suits only. My younger client, he mixes it up depending on what he feels like. And at the same time, it's also, I don't think people pay attention to it, but like prime time, right? There's more viewers on a Monday night than during the day on Sunday or Thursday night. You know what I'm saying? So those prime time, people get a little more fly for prime time than they do for a regular game.
Yeah.
So if people didn't pay attention to that, start paying attention to that. So like he'll get suiting on a prime time game, or he'll get that fit off when it's a prime time game versus a regular Sunday game.
Yeah.
So that's something that we think about. Weather plays a factor. Do we have a piece that like, I want to wear this week?
Do you do by season and shit, or not like if it's warm, or like, I guess you could say weather, but it's more of summer to winter, right? Obviously it's different.
Well, it's different
or
because
colors, or like
it all depends, because I got players in different teams, and those are different areas and regions of the states with different weather conditions.
Okay.
Right? So it's kind of hard to say. Like, that's why when I dress players, like, hey, is this a home game or is this a away game? Or I'll look into myself. Okay, this is this game. This is what we're gonna do in this game, because it's gonna be warm. So we got to make sure, like, I'm not overdressing you with a sweater when you're playing down in Miami.
Right.
Versus like a coat when you're playing up north in any of the NFC teams.
Yeah.
So it's very like, again, I offer that convenience, and I do all that legwork for them, so they don't have to do it themselves, because that's a lot. Like, you should focus only on your sport.
Right.
Like, you should have nothing to do with getting the clothing yourself or doing anything except, what day am I coming to fit you? What day am I coming to put the looks together? That's it. That's the key component, is I offer that convenience, and people, that's why I say, like, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. I have clients who fly me out to where they're at because it probably is worth more of his dollar to pay me to do the work for him and be there in his presence than for him to do the stuff himself, because he can be recovering. He can be spending time with his family. He can be studying film. You know what I'm saying? So that it doesn't take away from what he needs to focus on, so he can get the bag and shop and spend more.
Yeah. Push, good, to the hips, good. 3. Good. Where do you go from here? So if you got your athlete clients, you do your styling stuff, do you keep doing that, or do you venture off to something else, or like, what are you doing next?
So my goals are, I'm developing a creative agency where I'm housing a one-stop shop specifically for athletes and influencers, styling, PR, image consulting, branding partnerships, luxury services, client services, everything in the creative space catering to those that need it. And so I think the key component about that is like these, as rookies, they don't understand how important it is for long-time wealth. Okay. Because what's the average span of a football player?
3 to 5 years.
What's the average span of a basketball player?
I don't even know that one.
So what these, at the moment, these kids don't understand because they, whether they're basketball and they're 19 going to the league or whether they're football and they're 22 going to the league. Yeah. The longevity of the span and how are you going to get more? What are you going to do to get more salary or just income that isn't your sport? What if you get injured? Right? If you're not playing, you don't get paid. Right. You know what I'm saying? So what else can we do for you to become marketable, become your own brand, and profit on being yourself? Okay. So that's where this creative collective comes from. Okay. Because one, I'm very talented and it's more than just putting clothes on a person. Okay. I'm creative. I have ideas. I can throw events, concierge. Like when people come through here, somebody, if a team comes through here, somebody calls me about something. Where can we go tonight? Can you get reservations somewhere? It's the summertime. Hey, can we get a boat? Hey, we want to shop. We want to have a party. What can we do? And being that concierge here, you're paying for the convenience again, for the access. So all you have to do, or all your agent has to do, is when they get here or set it up, like, hey, this team comes on this day. We want a private party on this day. We want a dinner party in a private room on that day for this many people. Just like being a one-stop shop and making it easier for them. Yeah. So that they don't again, you focus on what you need to focus on and make yourself valuable to the team. Right. So just having that option for people, I think, and it doesn't even have to be that. It could be for regular people. It could be just somebody affluent in general. Right. Like an investor, or even somebody who's like a club owner in a different state, but they came here and Missy provided them this experience. Right. So, okay, cool. Like every time I come to Chicago, I'm gonna hit Missy up because she got some plan for me. Right. The reason why it's a collective is if it's something that I can't do, I have a team of other people that I could provide to do it. Right. Whether with me or without me. Okay. But it's a collective. It's a group. It's not just me doing it by myself, because you need a team to succeed. You can't just depend on yourself. Very true. And then do everything and think that it's going to be 100% smooth. Right. I don't know anybody who can do everything by himself in those type of scales and be 100% successful. Yeah. It doesn't exist. Like if it does, there's a hiccup here and there, or like, damn, if I had another extra hand or a body, you know what I'm saying? Which is why I like to keep that within my group, in my circle, so that we all could benefit, grow, build our portfolios. And it's annoying because people who are closed-minded and don't know me, like, oh, you're famous. No, but I'm infamous because that's my handle. You know what I'm saying? Funny, yes. No, because how people be like, oh, just because you have a K next to your Instagram following, they assume you're some type of famous person. Yeah. And no, I'm not famous. I'm just infamous. Infamous. Coming to the end of this, right? What do you want people to know about you, or what do you want people to take away from this? Or like when people bring up Missy, what in your head, what would you like them to say? Or like, how do you represent yourself? Or like, what do you be known for? Obviously being a stylist, but like, as a stylist, I always hear like, man, she be fly as hell all the time. She can put that shit on. That's what I always hear people say when they mention me. My takeaways would just be like building confidence, like, you know, like we said, shop for the body, not for the eye. And, you know, like what looks good on a hanger doesn't mean it's gonna look on my body. So getting used to shopping for your body proportions and dressing comfortably to what you look like. That's my takeaway from that. Like what I want people to know about me.
That they don't know.
What they don't know. Oh, I'm really down to earth. Okay. I'm an outgoing introvert. So I'm a Taurus, if anybody believes in that. I'm a Taurus in the American zodiac. I'm a dragon in the Chinese zodiac, meaning we're the most powerful and luckiest out of them all, and gifted. And I believe in being gifted. But no, I'm an outgoing introvert. So when people say like introvert, you're always, no, I'm not always outside. I'm outside when it comes to business and when it makes sense to me, but I'm not outside just to be outside to like, I'm bored. No, I love to cook. I like to eat. So trying new recipes at home. I know it's off our meal plan, but I really have a taste for tomato soup and grilled cheese today. So that's what
really?
I'll bring you some tomorrow.
Okay, here we go.
But that's what I really, that's what on my, when I leave here, I'm like, I want to make grilled cheese and tomato soup today. So I like to cook. I try different recipes. Yeah, I like, I guess dealing with people all the time. It's not that it's frustrating. It's just, I mean, I'm sure you deal with it too. It gets exhausting because you are their therapist or you're dealing with stuff on your own that people don't know about. And I just like to come home, make a good meal, sit on the couch, catch an episode of something, and then call it a night. Yeah, I'm really an introvert. I'm really like to myself. Yes, I know a lot of people that doesn't, you know, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of acquaintances, but I'm only close to a few. So, yeah, I mean, and I'm not a celebrity or famous. You can approach me, but approach me kindly, you know, because people are weird. Like, people will just approach and be like, you know, go crazy on something because, you know, I have a little clout, and then, you know, try to start stuff. And I'm like, I'll just ignore you. Like, I'll say hi to everybody. I might forget your name or just don't know, or like, oh, I know who, I can't remember the name. I know I've seen them before. Like, I'll say hi. I always say hi. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. But be kind. Because people are fucking weird and mean and just like, huh? Do I know you?
What's your word for the year? What's your word for this year? What would you say?
Intentional.
Explain it.
Intentional. So right now my mantras for the year are be intentional and trust the process. Let everything play out on its own, obviously. Be intentional with everything I do, with everybody I'm around. Just because, you know, not everybody has good wishes for you or has good intentions for you. So in every aspect of my life, be intentional. Like, are we eating to live or are we living to eat? You know, am I eating this meal out of because I'm indulging, or am I eating this because I need it? Am I dating with a purpose, or am I just dating for fun? Right. You know, introducing myself to new people, like if I can work with more people, which I'm very open to, and we all can succeed and we all can prosper and we, you know, can grow, like I'm really for it. I'm actually a girl's girl. People don't know that because I'm just so to myself, but I'm really a girl's girl. Like, I don't like mean girls, and I don't like girls who think they're better than others. Like, I'm very open to like, okay, like you want, like, let's, you know, as women, let's get together and do things. And I feel like it lacks here because everybody's so big-headed, or just like to like think their ego is this and that because people gas them up. Yeah, just intentional. Be intentional. Trust the process. That's what 2024 is gonna bring to me.